after my camera took that gnarly fall, as you guys just saw, it seems to be working. I don't think anything's wrong with it. There are like just a couple scratches and dings, although it did fall on concrete while it was on, but I don't think it damaged anything. So props to you, Canon, for making a solid ass camera. But if you guys are new to the channel, my name is Mike. Welcome back if you are already a subscriber. Ever since I've gotten my car, I'll be honest with you guys, I've been grinding into second gear, which is super weird for me because when I drive anyone else's car, I never grind into any of the gears. And I just thought maybe I'm just not used to my clutch pedal. But I've been driving this car for around 2 years now. By now, I should be really used to my clutch pedal, and it doesn't make any sense whatsoever why I'm still grinding. So at first, I thought it was a synchro in my transmission, but it only happens at high RPM. And to be honest, I don't really step on my car. I don't really abuse my car. I do want to take care of it as much as possible, so I don't ever, very rarely do I shift at like past 4,000 RPM, like very rarely. At first I thought it was a synchro, and then I read on some EVO 10 forums, there's actually something called a clutch delay valve, and that's in your slave cylinder. Lots of people have told me to remove it. Lots of people have said on the forums that you don't really need it, since what it actually does is at high RPM, it delays your clutch from engaging, which makes total sense why I would be grinding a little bit into second gear. Like, it still goes in, but it kind of grinds and then goes in. It essentially makes the clutch more forgiving if you don't know how to drive stick. I will definitely update you guys on whether or not I think this is something you should do to your car, and we'll have a few pulls and see if it really makes a big difference. So another thing I forgot to mention regarding the clutch delay valve is another reason why these manufacturers put them in the car is when we shift really fast, or if you release the clutch like all of a sudden, there is a shock going to the drivetrain. So what this does is it delays the clutch, so that shock is a lot less and you don't damage your drivetrain. But for us car enthusiasts, we kind of want to step on it. We kind of want to shift fast. We know how to drive stick. Don't delay the clutch, or else it makes us look really bad when we're trying to impress the person that's in our passenger seat. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove this. Right now I am just dropping off the 78 Civic, as you guys probably just saw. He needs a ride back. I'm his ride back. So as soon as we get back, we're gonna go ahead and work on the EVO 10. He always likes to park super close to the door so no one like hits his car. Like that guy. So right now it is actually the next day. My friend got pulled over, so I had to go pick him up. But anyways, so basically what we're doing to the EVO is, I'm not too sure if I showed you guys already, but way down there, that's the clutch slave cylinder. And right underneath it, right there, is a 14mm bolt. I just have to take out. Some of the fluid will drain, but the clutch slave cylinder does share the same fluid as the brake fluid. So we can actually open this up, and it is the same fluid as the brakes and I guess the clutch slave or whatever. So remember to just top that up once you're done and after you bleed it. This here is where you're going to be bleeding your clutch, and underneath is where the clutch pill or the clutch delay valve is. So once we remove that, we'll take it out for a spin and see if it actually makes a big difference on the car. So apparently this is something that's also pretty popular in like the DSM, so like the 90s Mitsubishis, like the Clip, the Eagle Talon and stuff like that. If your car does have a clutch delay valve, see if people remove them, see if it actually makes a difference, and if it does, I highly suggest it. Alright, so I just removed the clutch slave cylinder and I did this 14mm bolt which is attached to it. So everything's out here. This is the EVO 10, or I don't know if it's the same as the Lancer, but this is the clutch slave cylinder. It is kind of like rusty at the bottom, so I'm probably gonna put this like exhaust header clean almost. It's like this paste that you put on it makes it silver again. So I'm probably gonna clean this up, make it look good again, because I like making my car look as best as possible. So whenever there is rust, I try to clean it out. So this goes underneath here. So if you're looking at it this way, this bolt would go in here, and this is the whole clutch pill. So there is like a little, I don't know if you guys can see, but there's a little hole right in the center, a little tiny pinhole that the clutch fluid goes in, and the spring. But now with this out, it would basically be on and off. So which is what you want, and like if you're an enthusiast, a car enthusiast, and just like driving, put everything back together, bleed the clutch, and yeah, should be all good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and shine this up first. So this is the stuff that I'm talking about to clean, or basically make this thing look new again. I'm not too sure what it's called, but it's for the exhaust manifold. A lot of the muscle car guys use this for their headers. So basically what you want to do with this is get some on your finger and basically just rub it on, and do that to the whole thing, and it's gonna look brand new again. It's a little trick my dad showed me to basically make all these rusty parts that is like cast and stuff, make it clean again. Of course you could like wire brush it, but that's gonna take forever. So basically what you're doing is just tinting this rusty part and making it look new again, because it's probably gonna rust anyways, and it also serves as a protectant, I think. Alright, so the clutch is bled, and honestly the clutch feels a lot lighter actually. I don't think there's, oh my god, I'm gonna die here. It does feel a lot different as compared to with the clutch pill, or the delay valve, or whatever you want to call it. I want to say it like bites a little bit better. Usually I have a tough time going into reverse when I first start the car. I haven't started the car today, and it just went into reverse. I don't know if that's something to do with the clutch pill or whatever. My old EVO as well had the same thing. I like kind of had to warm up, and then it would want to go into reverse, or you'll have to like let the car roll down a little bit. But it just went into reverse. I don't know if that's like a thing. So daily driving, you hardly feel anything really. It feels more or less the same. But at higher RPM, I want to say that this clutch mod, I guess, is more responsive, but I would say more predictable but less forgiving, if that makes any sense. So after driving the EVO for basically the whole day today, so my overall impression of this mod, so after taking off the clutch pill or the clutch delay valve, the clutch now kind of feels a little softer, but after removing it, after shifting at higher RPMs, it does really feel like the clutch grabs a little bit better. It's a pretty cool mod, especially if you're looking for that extra bite from your clutch. But we're gonna have to end it here. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and join the Annie Perfect Society. Peace out, and make it happen.